Two Virginia high schoolers have been suspended for sexual harassment and sex-based discrimination after they were recorded in the boys' locker room questioning the presence of a girl there who pretends to be a male. Roll this up over at phantompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. Back in May, the female student entered the boys' locker room and recorded a number of male students questioning why a female is in the locker room despite the school district banning video recording in locker rooms. There is video here of the footage that the female student took inside the boys' locker room. I watched it, didn't really see anything that would be so-called sexual harassment or sex-based discrimination. They were literally just questioning why there was a girl in the boys' locker room. A Title IX investigation was opened by the school district at the time and has now suspended two teens for sexual harassment and sex-based discrimination, according to Josh Hetzler, an attorney representing the families of the two boys. The boys have been suspended for 10 days and are ordered to have no contact with the girl who recorded them, which includes not being in any of the same classes. The boys were sophomores at the time. They are now going to be juniors. School starts in Loudoun County, I believe, on August 21st. Additionally, they have to meet with school administrators for a, quote, corrective action plan. Seth Wolf, one of the teenagers' dad, told ABC7 News, "I would say the first reaction was some anger because we're just really concerned with all this stuff. We're saddened by the decision-making process and how that went." Renee Smith, the mother of another boy, said, "We're absolutely floored that they came back and branded my son responsible for sexual harassment and sex-based discrimination with no solid evidence whatsoever. We're talking about scarring him for life by a biased process that's supposed to protect fairness, but it's shocking, it's wrong, and it should terrify every single parent." Didn't include it in this article, but ABC7 News reported that Renee Smith and her family actually moved out of the state due to this investigation that Loudoun County did on her son. And if she and her family come back, he will be have to face this suspension. But she actually left the state and the school district because of this absolute nonsense. Victoria Cobb, the president of the Family Foundation of Virginia, whose legal arm Founding Freedoms Law Center is representing the family, said this: "The Founding Freedoms Law Center is working with our clients on next steps, but we are not going to let these boys go down without a fight. We're going to stand with them all the way till they are innocent. We have to, as a Commonwealth, fight back against this kind of thing. Our clients have done nothing wrong, and they deserve to be deemed innocent. We've seen time and time again that Loudoun County, if given the opportunity to do the right thing, will instead do the wrong thing. Loudoun County Public Schools once again shows that it is willing to harm students in the name of woke ideology, while every student is harmed when they do things like deny federal funds to kids' education. These boys in particular are being made examples of what happens when someone crosses school indoctrination." In fact, the ruling, this suspension from Loudoun County Public Schools, came after Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares and his department determined that the boys are the victims in this situation. There is no evidence, no corroborating evidence that we have found that they had sexually harassed anyone, that they had done anything even approaching what would be considered sex discrimination. The reality is that Loudoun County schools, what we have found, have bad policy and bad judgment. ABC7 News also reported that in his office's report, it said this: "The facts and circumstances of the current matter involving the three male students suggest that Loudoun County Public Schools is utilizing an unlawful, discriminatory, and retaliatory Title IX investigation to silence the students' sincerely held religious objections to Policy 8040. Furthermore, there are persistent reports that Loudoun County Public Schools and the Loudoun County School Board take adverse and potentially unlawful action against parents, teachers, and public speakers." That Policy 8040 is a policy that the school has in place that allows students to enter into bathrooms and locker rooms based on what they so-called identify as rather than their actual sex. That policy is the face of a number of lawsuits, as well as I think a case that is going to be heard in front of the Supreme Court very shortly. Miyares referred his investigation in the matter to the U.S. Department of Education Office for Civil Rights and the U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division. Harmeet Dillon, the Assistant Attorney General for the Civil Rights Division at the Department of Justice, said this in response to Winsome Earl Sears, who is running for governor in the state of Virginia. Said this is very wrong and it will not stand. She obviously shared that ABC7 News report from Nick Minock, or one of the reports that he's been doing over the last year or so covering this case. And again, she said this is very wrong and it will not stand. And then just earlier this morning, we got an announcement from Secretary of Education Linda McMahon saying the Trump admin will no longer stand by as states and school districts flout federal law. Starting today, 5 Northern Virginia school divisions must request reimbursement for all federal education dollars and will be classified as high risk for future federal funding. And we obviously saw that kind of being alluded to from, what was her name? Victoria Cobb, where she's talking about how the fact that Loudoun County is now putting all students in harm because they are now going to be denied federal funds. And that is exactly what Linda McMahon is doing here. If you go to the actual press release that she shared over on X, it reveals that Loudoun County Public Schools is indeed one of those 5 districts, and that the Department of Education found that it has actually been in violation of Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972. The department found the divisions in violation of Title IX last month for their policies allowing students to occupy intimate facilities based on gender identity, not biological sex. The divisions refused to sign the department's proposed resolution agreement to voluntarily resolve their Title IX violations by last Friday's deadline, which was August 15th, and have instead chosen to remain in violation of Title IX. McMahon added this in the press release: states and school districts cannot openly violate federal law while simultaneously receiving federal funding with no additional scrutiny. The Northern Virginia school divisions that are choosing to abide by woke gender ideology in place of federal law must now prove they are using every single federal dollar for a legal purpose. We have given these Northern Virginia school divisions every opportunity to rectify their policies, which blatantly violate Title IX. Today's accountability measures are necessary because they have stubbornly refused to provide a safe environment for young women in their schools. And obviously, they're not providing a safe environment for young men either, given the fact that they are trying to weaponize Title IX to attack these 3 male students, these 3 sophomores, now rising juniors, and have now labeled them as offenders of sexual harassment and sex-based discrimination. It's just absolutely sick and evil. I actually wish there would be some more harsher punishment enacted against these school divisions. I honestly think that there needs to be severe consequences for the individuals on these school boards, as well as the administrative staff of these schools, such as Stonebridge. The principal, the vice principal, anyone involved in the investigation should face severe consequences. They honestly should be banned from ever engaging in the education system ever again. They are not to be trusted whatsoever if this is what they are doing. And we need to come down really hard on these people. And the state needs to put these people in place because they should not be pushing this absolutely sickening, evil ideology. And it is the state's job to protect the common good. So I'm glad to see that we are seeing some steps taken here from Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares, and obviously from the Trump administration. But I'd like to see them really drop the hammer on these entities, these school districts, the high schools, and obviously the staff that are enacting these absolutely evil policies. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.
Why would you be afraid of the people? Why are you not afraid of God instead of man?